Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. Today I'm excited to bring to you the tie headband. You can see I'm wearing one and I am so excited about these. I think they turned out really cute. You can see they have an elastic on the bottom, so they're fully adjustable, so it's going to fit anybody from a toddler. I could put this on Evie all the way up to a grown-up size, just like I'm wearing. And it's the exact same headband. It's just a matter of how much tighter you tie the top. So fully adjustable. It's going to grow with your child if you want. And again, you can make these out of cotton fabric. You could make these out of crushed velvet. So many possibilities, and I think they're really fun. Now, this is a super easy, beginner-friendly pattern, and don't be afraid to try it. This is a great one to start with. Now, if you have a Cricut or a Silhouette and you can cut fabric, I've got an SVG for you. It's linked in the description below the video, and that will give you all of the fabric pieces that you need. You won't even have to cut them out. And if you don't have a digital die cutting machine, you need one. But you can also download my PDF and cut that out. You want to make sure that you cut that out at 100%, and there is a scale on the top that you can check. It's got centimeters on one side and inches on the other, so that you can make sure that you are printing that out at 100% or not to fit to page. So anyway, that's it. This is super easy. I'm going to flip the camera over and show you how quickly these go together. And I can't wait to see all of you posting them in the group. If you haven't joined my Facebook groups, I have a sewing Facebook group now. It's called Sewing with Lorrie nuneMAKER, and I will link that in the description below the video. Please feel free to join us over there and post your photos. And also you can join me in any of my Facebook groups. I'll have them all linked in the description below the video. So without further ado, let's hop over and start making headbands. So all you're going to need for this project is the SVG file or the PDF. I have both linked in the description below the video. If you're going to use the PDF, you want to print it out to 100%, no scale. And I have an inch scale and a centimeter scale at the top of the PDF that you can double check to make sure that it printed out at full size. And it's going to print on 2 pieces of paper. You're just going to cut that out, line the edges up, and tape it together. And then if you're using the PDF, I have instructions on here that you're going to cut 2 of this file. And then you also need to cut 1 rectangle 10.5 by 2. If you have a Cricut or a Silhouette and you're able to cut fabric, you can simply use the SVG and it's going to cut out the 3 pieces of fabric for you. And again, you need about 12 inches by 16 inches and you'll be able to get the entire headband cut out with that 1 piece of fabric. If you're using the PDF, I just wanted to show you really quickly, you're just going to take your fabric, fold it over on one side so that it's at least as wide as the headband template. You're going to fold it over. You're going to place this side on the fold. It says cut on the fold. And then you're just going to cut right around here. And that's going to give you this shape right there. So once you open it, it'll be right where we're at. And you're going to need 2 of that shape and 1 of your rectangle and a 6-inch piece of elastic. Now, if you're working with the directional fabric, be mindful of that. This is going to be the top of the headband. So if you want a directional fabric, you'll want the pattern to face up. The rounded corners is up. This is going to be a horizontal piece in the back of the headband. So this is really simple to do. The first thing we're going to do is take our rectangle and fold it in half, right sides together lengthwise, just like this. And you can pin it if you want. I just find it easier just to take it right over the sewing machine. And all you're going to do is stitch that long edge closed, leaving both ends open. And then while you're over there, go ahead and do the same to these. Fold these right sides together. And on this piece, you're going to stitch from the, I find it easiest to start at the straight edge. So you're going to start right here, leave this end open. Start right here, sew all the way down and around your corner and off, backstitch at the beginning and the end, and do the same on this one. You're going to start right here, sew all the way down and around the corner, leaving this end open. So go ahead and stitch those 3 pieces together and meet me back here. Okay, so I've got both of my rounded pieces sewn together, right sides together, and as well as my tube. The first thing we need to do is turn all of these right side out. Now for these, I find it easiest just to use a chopstick or a pen or whatever you have, and I kind of just go on this rounded edge, sort of separate it with my fingers, and then just push that through it. And that's the easiest way to turn a closed tube right side out, just like that. And then you want to kind of push that rounded edge out. As best you can. I like to run it along that seam. So go ahead and repeat that process. You might want to cut your seam allowances a little bit if you have really large seam allowances. I used probably about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. But if you use like 1/4 inch, you're going to want to trim that seam allowance down just to make your corners look a little nicer. And then to turn this tube, if you have a safety pin, you can just clip that on there and then work the safety pin right down there. I have this little handy turner by, I believe this is by Clover. I'll try to link that in the description below. But you just tuck it, stick it through, you open the little latch, and I just hook it on that seam allowance, and then I'm able to pull it right side out. But again, a safety pin works just as well. Sometimes it's even easier. But you just pull it out. All right, so once you have everything turned right side out, you want to take it over to the iron and press these nice and flat. And then this one, you want to take the seam and roll it so that it's right in the middle, and then you're going to press that flat. So I'm going to go ahead and press mine, and I'll be right back. So I have everything pressed, and you can see I put the seam right in the middle of the rectangle that we sewed together and press that flat. So now we're going to take our elastic, and again, you can use a safety pin. I'm using a bodkin. I'll have this linked in the description below the video, but if you're not familiar with these are pretty handy for like anything you would use a safety pin for. You just open it up and you squeeze it closed, and then you take this little ring and push it down, and that tightens it. But again, you can just hook a safety pin in. However you want to do it is fine. You're going to stick this inside your tube and feed it through. All right. Now when you get to this end, you don't want to pull it all the way through. Here's my safety pin sticking out. I can go ahead and pull that out if I want, or just leave that hang. But you're just going to line this edge of the elastic up with the raw edge of the fabric. I'm going to pull it just a little bit more, keeping that seam right in the middle of the elastic. And now I'm going to take that over to the sewing machine, and I'm just going to stitch that into place about 1/4 of an inch or less, just right along that edge to hold that elastic right there at the edge. All right, so I've sewn that into place. I'm just going to clip my strings. If you've got a little bit of extra ravel there, you can just clip that off. So now I'm going to do the same thing on this end. I'm going to make sure that seam stays right in the middle. I'm going to pull this end out. I'm going to release my safety pin or your bodkin, whatever you're using. And we're just going to secure this one, stitching that down just like we did on the other end. So now it looks like this, and I've got a little bit of stretch. I'm going to just trim up this edge nice and tidy, just like that. Trim off any threads. All right, so now is the really easy part. We're going to take these and we're going to set them so that the loop is going in the same direction. So I need to turn that one over so they're both turning towards the bottom. I'm going to take this, the seam side up, put it right in the middle of this one so that the tail is going that way. Then you're going to just fold this over, just like that. Fold this side over, just like that, and stitch right along that edge, securing it. Make sure that you back stitch a few times. Your elastic should be sticking out this way. So I've sewn it and it looks just like that. I'm just going to, again, trim up this edge so I don't have a ton of seam allowance left. Get rid of all that fraying. Don't worry about those raw edges. Threads. All right, so it looks like that. Okay, so now you want to lay them again so that your curves are going the same way. I'm going to push this one up, this one down. And we're just going to take this other raw edge and do the same thing. We're going to push it up here so the seam is facing up. And then we're just going to wrap this side around there and this side around, just like that. So let me show you one more time. This is how this one looks. We've got our corners facing down. I'm just going to line this raw edge up with this one. And then fold it inside. And we're going to stitch back and forth, making sure that that's nice and secure. Okay, so I've got that one done. I'm going to trim that up. And again, it doesn't have to be real pretty. Get your threads out. Okay, so now it looks kind of funky. You think, oh my gosh, we messed up. But here's the beauty. You're going to flip this over, flip this one over, and that all those raw edges are going to be hidden right inside, just like that. So again, we were like this. Make this one back the way we were. So it looked like this. All I did was flip this right side out. And now those raw edges are concealed inside our finished seam. And that is your headband. So you're just going to, you can either put it on and then tie it, or tie it and then put it on since you've got that elastic in there. You're just going to tie those edges. And there you have it. I think these are so fun. I love that they have this stretchy back on them, so these are going to be good. If I were going to make this for a child, I might take this elastic that I cut at 6 inches and make it 5 inches. But if that's up to you, it really doesn't matter. It would just mean the ties are a little bit longer. If you tied it on a child, you would just tie it a little bit tighter. But I made it 6 inches for an adult and 5 inches for a toddler or child. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial of the tie headband. I think this is a really fun project and it's going to fit girls of all ages. A lot of the girls are wearing their hair up in the buns with the bandanas tied around them, and this is just another way to wear that look, and I think it's going to be really cute. Can't wait to try one on Evie and see how that looks. Don't forget I have all of the links to the products used in the video in the description below, as well as a link to the PDF and the SVG. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to click that bell notification so that you're notified every time there is a new video. Until next time, never stop making. See you guys. Bye-bye.